Steve, thank you. We are now one day into President Trump's 25% tariffs on goods imported from Canada and Mexico, plus the additional 10% tariff on Chinese goods for a total of 20%. Stocks responded this afternoon. The Dow tumbled again, losing more than 1,300 points in 2 days. Today it was down 670 points. The S&P 500 was down 72. The tech-heavy NASDAQ fell 65 points. So what does all this mean for your wallet? The price impacts everyday goods on things like groceries and gas, electronics, and so much more. NBC Connecticut is committed to breaking all of this down for you so you know what to expect. Briseida Landaverde joined us in studio with how this could impact you. Briseida.
Yeah, Mike, so much to break down here. An expert described the impact as widespread. First, let's explain what a tariff is. A tariff is a tax on goods imported into a country. Now, overnight, the Trump administration imposed tariffs on our biggest trading partners. You can see that right there, 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and an additional 10% on China, bringing the total to 20%. Canada and Mexico fired back immediately with their own tariffs. So how will this impact your wallet? I think that's what we're all trying to find out and focus on. You can expect some of these items right here to go up. Fresh produce, gas, cars, electronics, and toys. Experts say prices for cars could take a few months to increase, but groceries could go up in the coming days and weeks.
I think the consumer will see an impact pretty quickly. So if you take Mexico, for example, where we're getting lots of citrus products and produce products, they have a short shelf life. So as soon as they come over the border and get to their final destination, it's pretty quickly.
And that was the Connecticut Food Association President Wayne Pesch. He says food items in Connecticut like avocados, strawberries, grapes, and beef and pork could be some of the first items to go up. Now, he does add the impact from tariffs will just vary depending on the season here in Connecticut.
Once the growing season comes, you know, these grocers buy local. There's a lot of local produce that's happening. That'll help. But again, I think consumers are used to year-round produce at this point, and we're going to feel it.
Pesch estimates both here in Connecticut and across the country, grocery bills could increase $1,500 to $2,000 a year if the tariffs stay in place. Meantime, Quinnipiac professor Mohammed Elahi says the trade war will only bring disaster to all parties involved. He says history has shown tariffs do not work.
If we look at the U.S. history, President Reagan imposed tariff on Japanese electronics company. Didn't work. It didn't work at all.
Mexico said that they will also impose tariffs on the U.S. in response. And if you're wondering why we're talking about this, why this has all happened here, President Donald Trump says tariffs will boost U.S. jobs. That's one reason. And then the other factor is that he wants to hold the countries accountable for, he says, allowing immigrants and drugs, specifically fentanyl, into the U.S. Keisha?